All right, guys, what's happening? Craven YGO here. I went to the Indy Regionals Saturday. Today is the 19th, so the 18th. Um, I got 73rd out of almost 600 people. Record 6-2 and 2. Let me get my. I wrote down all of my rounds and stuff and got it all together. Round one, 2-0 trap tricks. Round two, I drew with branded 1-1. I also wrote down like the hands and stuff. My opponent had 3 good hands. I had 2 good hands and 1 bad hand, which is why I lost that one. Round three, Punk, Ishizu Nichiria. Lost to that one, 1-2. My opponent had 3 good hands. I only had 2 good hands. The issue with that one was I didn't know this ahead of time. Maybe I should have looked. I'm not really quite sure what I would have seen that somebody playing that. Uh, there was a card, a Naturia card, that when you tribute a Naturia monster to summon it, so like a tribute summon, it locks all spells and traps. So that kind of screwed my entire deck. That was one loss. So yeah, that was my first loss. Went 1-1 in round 4 against Sword Soul. That was another tie or draw. I'm sorry. Round 5 won against Branded. Round 6 lost against Nashiria Runic. Round 7 Adventure Cash 2-0'd. Round 8 Endymion I 2-1'd. Round 9 I played another Branded, so that's 3 Branded. I 2-1 that. And round 10 Naturia Runic, I 2-1 that as well. In the round 10, I had 1 bad hand. Round 9, I had 1 bad hand. Round 4, I had a bad hand. So pretty much 1 bad hand in every game or in every match, except round 2, round 1. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to work on that. But out of 10 rounds, 73rd. For my second regional, it was kind of crazy. So I just want to go over the list, go over what I'm going to do in the future to change it. Some people like coming and seeing it. So we're just going to get over right. Top cards right here that you see are the MVPs from each area. So this is the side deck. This is the extra deck. Main deck monsters, main deck spells. Besides the one time when I just got locked out altogether, which I had an evenly in hand, I think I'm going to figure out a way to fit in Kaiju. At least maybe 4 of them. Maybe I don't know 100%, but I know at least 2 cards in the main deck I want to cut. I don't know what I'm going to do for the other ones, but I'm going to see if I can work in at least 3, maybe 4 Kaiju. Maybe 2. We'll just have to see. But we're going to get into it. I'm going to try and keep this flipped upside down for you guys so you can see. I'm trying something a little bit different with my recording area, which is the office. Did not flip these. All right, so Ovi, flip them. 3 Ovi, 3 Baby, 2 Annie, 1 Misk, 2 UCT. That's pretty much what everyone's playing. It's kind of crazy on this one side. It's because it's so low and everything else is so high up. All the light is bouncing around. I am running the scrap package. I'm maining this because there are times there's times when I dark ruler or I even lead and it helped me out a lot. So then you can go into you go into main phase 2 after an evenly, you set up your UCT Nat Beast 3 mat Appaloosa play. A lot of decks in this format cannot play through that. Especially like branded you have to get that branded fusion off, and Naturia Beast is a direct counter to that unless they're running something to get rid of it, which most, unless they're running evenly or something, which I don't think many are, you're just negating everything that you're going to get rid of. I mean, I think the one branded player that I 2-0'd, I negated 4 of his trap or spell cards, and he just scooped. So that's my thought on that, because this isn't really it's a going second, but it's also like a going second with the ability to overpower your opponent when you can't kill them that turn, kind of thing. You have to think about what you want to do. Like if you Dark Ruler, you can't go into access code and try and kill them because you can't kill them. Or you use prosperity or whatever. You got to be conscious. Like if I open evenly in prosperity, I pretty much have to use that evenly. Does prosperity have to search? You know, do I need a combo piece, or do I need another destruction? Because like most of the time one would get negated or something like that, and then you would still have like a dark hole or something to follow up to get rid of their board. Or if you like dark hold and then you even lead, or you know what I mean, you would, either way you're not killing them that turn. So you have to have a good follow-up. That's what the scraps provided. I did main the gamma. There were times when I saw gamma that when I would like I'd have to normal summon Obi to do the combo. So that was kind of sucky. One thing I did find that is also good for these is like if you only have Ovi in hand, Ovi is essentially UCT. If you have, or at least you're in the fight with a UCT on the board. If you have this in hand and you have to normal summon normal summon Ovi, you can banish the gamma in hand and not get screwed, because like you normal summon Ovi searches Misk goes to grave, Misk gets banished, normal or special summon Annie destroys Ovi goes to grave. You link off Annie for Link Karibo, and now you have multiple dinos in hand or in graveyard, but you don't have any in hand or in graveyard. Blech. Sorry, my brain's still kind of fried from yesterday. When you have this in hand, you could then banish that instead of having to make sure you get the Link Karibo off. So I thought that was good. I don't think those need to be cut. Those felt good. There was times where I had to use them like offensively as well. Like against, like if I would open, there's one, the Naturia Runic is very hard with this. Like back row decks are always very hard against dinos, I'm sure, as you guys know. But the Naturia Runic one was a specific, very hard matchup. There was one time when I went to use a spell card with no monsters on board, like Lightning Storm or something like that, and then his Nat Beast would negate it, and then I would Gamma his Nat Beast, and then they would have the negation with that one thing, like the one that negates it, and then there's their other one that they send 2 cards to negate the effect, and then it has to send itself, because like that screwed me in 2 of my rounds. I'm thinking the Kaijus in that location are going to help. But Gamma was very helpful offensively and defensively. So now we're going to get into the spell and traps and stuff. We played 2 double Evo, 3 Fossil Dig, 3 Lost World, and the terraforming. That's pretty much the basic formula for all dino decks in today's format. Really, the main difference is in my selection of spell and traps that I ran to board disrupt. I don't really see a lot of decks in the current format that are running it at the ratio I think I am, because like I think people are afraid to kind of play that way. I am running the 3 prosperity. This was very close second MVP. This, like, if I was able to get that off, most of the time I got what I needed. There was like one time where I didn't get what I needed, and it was kind of upsetting. But if I got that off, I pretty much got what I needed every time. Like whether it was a board destruction or a combo piece. Or coverage, whatever. If it was there, I needed it, or if I needed it, it was there. We're gonna talk about this 2 Eclipse. It is okay, at least in my build. It's probably better in like other decks. It's probably good, but with everything else that I'm running, it's not the greatest. I think what I'm gonna do is cut these and maybe put in some kaiju, because the answer to that Naturia lockout with spells and traps was a kaiju. If I could have kaiju that, I had the game. But I'm not playing any kaiju. This did not help me in that scenario, and I had it in my hand. I had this black hole or dark hole, this dark hole, and evenly matched in hand. And I think I had combo as well, and couldn't do it. Nothing. If I opened the kaiju in that hand, it was GG's, and I was in top 64. That's just, I've been thinking about this like all day, all night on my drive home, because I drove 3 hours there and 3 hours back same day. That was the answer. I was talking to, shout out to Tony. He knows who he is. I know he's gonna watch his video about it. It's God, the kaijus instead of these, or kaijus, you know, like maybe 3 kaijus put me at 42. I don't know, but that was the answer. I'm running 2 evenly, 2 dark ruler, 2 lightning storm. Trap Tricks ate shit after I evenly gained 1 and then lightning storm gained 2. That was what it is. Branded setting up their expulsion and stuff kind of hurt. I got to figure that out, how I'm going to get through that. I really saved, I think I saved myself a couple of times just by, you know, having, I think I had like an evenly set and they didn't kill me because I had like normal summon an OV or something, and they had Gimmick Puppet on the board. And there was one they used something else. It was weird. It was a different, it wasn't Gimmick Puppet. It was a different one that locked me out. I don't know what exactly he played, but I'm going to explain that one as well. He had me to the point I had Giant Rex in hand, Lost World. I think I drew Rex for a turn, had Lost World and something else. I can't remember 100% in hand. Maybe it was like a Gamma or something. So I normal summoned the Rex, attacked into the token that was summoned off a Lost World, summoned Raptor, went into scrap play because I think what I did, he was kind of like, he was shifty. I didn't know if he was going to make me go first or make me go second. So I sided in Golem and Rex, but kept in a lot of the going second stuff. So when I attacked into it, saved it, summoned, destroyed the baby, summoned Raptor, went into the play for the scrap play with Golem, made Unicorn, bounced his face down because he had a face down, bounced his face down, went into access code, destroyed the monsters he had, and then set up for the follow turn, and he couldn't get through it. So that, I kind of like, I like these ratios. I don't think there was any time where I saw multiples of these. I saw at least 1 and 1 or 1 and 1 or 1 and, you know, I never saw 2, 2, 2, which was great. I love that. That was amazing. And then main MVP, I didn't use it in the additional way that I thought. Why is the autofocus so bad? I didn't use it in the additional way that I thought. It was never a combo piece for me because I never opened Lost World Baby this without having like OV or Misk or whatever in hand. It was good when I had it, and it was awesome when I needed it. So that's the main thing. I don't think I want to cut this to 2. I don't think that's good. I may just to fit in those kaijus, but we'll see, because it wasn't so reliant upon it like I thought it was gonna be with Lost World and Baby, because I ended up getting a lot of combo pieces. It was never where it was just like only Dark Hole Lost World Baby. It was always something more. Like I always had like OV Baby Lost World, Dark Hole something, or you know, it was always like that. Now we're gonna get into the extra deck. There's a couple of these that I never even made one time. There was one that almost cost me the game that I'm an idiot for almost doing. I didn't take my hand off the card, so the opponent couldn't like shark me with it, but it would have cost me the game if I made the Millennium Eyes when I thought I was going to, because it was game 3 and I was trying to get coverage for a combo and I had Instant Fusion in hand, and I went Instant Fusion and then realized that it was like 2 minutes before time, and I was like, wait, never mind, I'm not going to do that, because I never took it off. So he didn't shark me, thankfully. Shout out to that opponent, because he knew that if I did that, I was fucked. But what we're gonna get into is I did Link Karibo and Lin Garibo. I was really worried about Ibley. Never saw Ibley one time. The gimmick puppet stuff and the other one, I can't get rid of it. So I don't know. I might keep that because I see a lot of Ibleys at my locals. But we'll see. Link 2s. We have Wyvern, Reaperdocus. This was great. Some people still don't know what Reaperdocus does. Every person that I did the Nat Beast combo on, they had to read Reaperdocus like 2 or 3 times. They're like, what? What are you doing? So, yeah. They did not expect that. I never made Pentastag one time. I banished that every single time for Prosperity. Every single time. Never made it one time. Nightmare Unicorn and Access Code. This was great. This was a great little tech add-in. I'm so glad I added that in. Awesome. Boral Sword and Appaloosa. I made Access Code way more than I made Boral Sword. I think I made Boral Sword one time because I made Access Code. My opponent destroyed Access Code. And then I had enough monsters the next follow-up turn off of like normal summoning Ovi, Ovi ditching Rex, and then I think because I added a UCT, banish Rex, put Rex on board, and I think I had like a baby or something else, and then I did like the whole the baby thing summon. I don't remember 100% what it was, but I was able to make Boral Sword. I don't know if it's worth the spot. A lot of people are telling me to take it out. But there's also like other cards that I could take out instead. It's always just something to, if you need it and don't have it, it sucks. But if you have it and don't need it, it's better. There's another thing that I made this one time because I was worried the guy had the Adventure Cash. I knew he was playing Nib because he nibbed me. I made that the second game, or yeah, I think I still ended up beating him out the first game because I had a UCT in hand. I like to keep the UCT in hand. I've been thinking about running 3 UCT as well. It's just in this meta, it counters everything. There aren't a lot of monsters that can attack over him. It's just by himself. He's so fragile. So like if you only have UCT on board, it's so fragile, but some decks just can't get over him. Unless they target it to destroy it or something like that. So it's a give and a take. I don't know if I'm going to run 3, but I've been thinking about it. Baguska, I never made one time, banished every time. And Logia. So we'll see. Like I said, there's other things that I can cut, but we'll see. MVP of this tournament, Nat Beast. This is what I was telling everyone. Nat Beast is what he's called. He's just a beast. He puts in work. I made Boral Sword one time. That's always just good to have. I would just rather have that because there was one opponent that said he could have played through Nat Beast, UCT, 3-mat Appaloosa, but then I made Savage on top of it, and then that was game. He just picked up after that. And then the one that almost made me lose a game that I never used one time that I'm going to take the Instant Fusion out of the side deck, Millennium Eyes. So yeah. Now we're going to get in the side deck. MVP of the side. Whenever I normally don't see these. I would say 5 out of the 6 times I sided in Nib, I saw it and it was perfect. Definitely keeping that on the side. I don't think I'm going to main it just because like there are a lot of decks in the meta that play into Nibiru. Yes. There are more decks in the meta that play into Lightning Storm, Evenly, Dark Ruler, Dark Hole. So, but definitely sideworthy. One thing that I'm going to keep in that really was not super impactful to me this tournament was the Solemn Judgments. The Solemn Judgments were... I was very worried about Dark Ruler. I was very, very worried that if I went second, I'd be able to get through them. Then I would side to go second again, because this happened a couple times, and then they would side to go second. And then I would get screwed that way. I was very worried about like getting dark rulered, so I played those, and I never got dark rulered one time. It was kind of weird, but I get dark rulered a lot at my locals, which is weird. I don't. It's probably because it's a different kind of group of people or different players or whatever, but I'm gonna keep that in there. The one of monsters. Rex Golem. You don't want these unless if you lose round 1 or game 1. And you know you're going first, because some decks you just want to get ahead of. Some decks are just gonna be able to play through you regardless. So some decks you want to go second all the time against. With this deck, some decks you want to go first against just to get ahead of them, like the Endymion matchup, branded matchups. I did one of the Naturia matchups like that. They were very upset because they'd never seen Dinos use Naturia Beast. They were very mad about that. So yeah, those are great. That's the Rex is your extension into Borreload Savage. If you don't play Rex, you can't make Savage. You just make your UCT format Appaloosa with Golem on board and Nap Beast. I played the only other hand traps besides Gamma that I played is the 1 Ash, 1 Imperm, 3 Crossout. I think I used Crossout effectively on an Ash twice in this tournament. Which really, I think having Crossout in the main, which I tested for a long time, is not great, especially with the 2 of ratios of all of what you're running. And the reasoning behind that is I would see this and, 4 of the other destructions and no combo. Or that in a driver, Crossout driver, 2 or 3 disruption. There was times where I would just get disruptions and it wouldn't play out. So I think siding these for when you're going first is the better option for the protection. It's definitely something that I'm going to attempt to do from now on. Because most of the time, at least in the meta so far, and there's a lot of adding. So if your opponent doesn't open Ash, which is a high probability, don't get me wrong, sometimes they're going to discard it because they think they're just going to be able to make a board and destroy you. Or they keep it, it's I don't know if it was luck, because craziness happened when I opened my entry packs. I pulled a thrust from an entry pack to the tournament. That's how I knew my luck was just it was going that day. Unluckily, I didn't get a top, but I think it's the luckiest that I've been in a Yu-Gi-Oh environment. And then the last 2, Called By and Instant Fusion. This boy's gonna get ripped out. I do not want to play that. He went in pretty much every going first list. Every time I went first, Called By went in. I mean, that is what it is. So yeah, that's how it went. 73rd, 6-2 and 2. It was fun. If I didn't go into round 7, 3-2 and 2, like if I lost round 7, I probably would have left. But I literally went 2-2 and 2. And then won that round 7, and then won my next 3 rounds to get that 6-2 and 2. If I would have lost another one, I probably would have left earlier, but it's just insane that I was able to play like that. But thanks for checking the video out, guys. I do appreciate it. If you have any questions, any comments, anything like that, make sure you comment below. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to try and start going, like, now that winter's over, pretty much every other whatever, as much as I can get out there. Like I said, my main focus at this point in time is to try and get kaijus in here. if you're looking to maybe run a little bit like this, I'm gonna focus like at least 2 to 3 spots. Maybe those. I think that those Book of Eclipse, maybe the last Dark Hole. I'm not 100% sure. I may only run 2, but I definitely want to try and fit at least 2 or 3 kaiju in. That way, you know, if I see kaiju Dark Hole or kaiju Lightning Storm, whatever, kaiju evenly, or a combination of any of the 3, it's game. And then I got 3 cards potentially to combo with. So it's going to be something I definitely want to look into. But thanks for checking me out. I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Craven YGO signing out. Adios.